If you jumped into Lake Natron right now, you wouldn't turn to stone instantly. But if you drowned, your body would be perfectly preserved for centuries. This deadly lake makes Egyptian mummification look like child's play. Ever heard of Medusa? That snake-haired Greek monster who turns people to stone with a single glance? She's just a myth. But there's a real place so lethal it could actually petrify you. The infamous Lake Natron. Here's what makes this Tanzanian death trap so terrifying. What kind of creatures can survive there? And could you actually make it out alive if you fell in? Let's dive into the deadliest lake on Earth. Before we take the plunge, you need to understand what Lake Natron is made of. Think of it as the Dead Sea's psychotic cousin. This Tanzanian nightmare doesn't drain into any oceans or rivers, so it soaks up all that salty desert rain like a toxic sponge. But here's what makes it especially lethal: its proximity to an active volcano. Old Doinyolengai spews a rare kind of lava packed with sodium and potassium carbonate, called natural carbonatite, or natron for short. This volcanic cocktail pours directly into the water, creating the perfect preservative in lake form. The chemical composition is absolutely brutal. We're talking pH levels of 10.5, nearly as alkaline as ammonia. This gives the lake its haunting rosy hue and turns it into a liquid death trap. Any birds unlucky enough to take a dive and not make it out, they become calcified in hardened stone-like husks. Talk about killing two birds with one stone. In 2013, wildlife photographer Nick Brandt became the first to document this terrifying phenomenon. He discovered several petrified birds and other unlucky animals during the dry season when the water had receded. His theory? The lake is so mirror-like and reflective that birds fly straight into it like it's a massive glass door. Imagine thinking you're soaring through open sky, only to slam into liquid concrete. But here's the plot twist. Despite all this death, there's one species absolutely thriving in Lake Natron. Turns out these toxic waters provide the perfect safe haven from predators, making it ideal flamingo territory. If flamingos can handle it, couldn't we survive too? Not so fast. Flamingos aren't just lucky, they're built for this nightmare. Their tough skin and scaly legs act like natural armor against the caustic water. They can drink fresh water from nearby springs and geysers at the lake's edges. When desperate, they filter salt water using special glands in their nasal cavities. And here's the kicker: their iron stomachs can actually digest the toxic algae found throughout the lake. This makes Lake Natron the perfect nursery to raise and protect their young. So what would happen if you tried to live like a flamingo and took a dip? Depending on the season, the water can reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cause third-degree burns in 5 seconds or less. I wouldn't plan on any fancy dives or cannonballs either. The lake's shallowness is packed with razor-sharp, salty structures that'll shred you on impact. You wouldn't turn to stone instantly. But here's the terrifying part. If you drowned and stayed submerged, your entire body would harden and be perfectly preserved. People could find you hundreds of years later with your hair and organs completely intact. You'd still be looking fresh after all those centuries. Just like Egyptian mummification, natron's super-high alkalinity stops the decomposition process cold. The good news? You'd be safe from vultures and other hungry scavengers looking for a snack. If you waded in when water temperatures were lower, it might feel more like a scalding hot tub. But your eyes and any open wounds would sting like absolute hell because of all that concentrated salt. I'd definitely strap on some industrial-strength goggles. Want proof that people can survive this chemical nightmare? In 2007, a group of wildlife videographers got an up-close lesson in Lake Natron's toxicity when their helicopter crashed directly into it. The pilot suffered a broken leg, another passenger had a broken hip, and everyone was trapped in caustic water. Incredibly, one passenger managed to struggle to shore and alert nearby Maasai tribespeople. They quickly built stretchers and carried the injured to safety in the nick of time. Even though you could technically survive Lake Natron's waters, I'd stick to a swimming pool if I were you. As for our flamingo friends, this just proves how the harshest environments on Earth can become sanctuaries for the right animals. Evolution finds a way, even in liquid death. But if you're craving something even more extreme for your next swim, how about surviving a limnic eruption? Think you could handle a lake that literally explodes with toxic gas? Check out our series How to Survive to find out if you've got what it takes. Pretty incredible when you think about it, right?